Hello, everyone.
Is it
Welcome back. Hello. I don't know. I think we're back now. Welcome to episode 2 of Two Books, One Bottles. I'm going to do that every time.
2 books, 1 bottle.
2 books, 1 bottle. I am Cody.
I'm Janie.
And we're your incredible host for this incredible book club.
Amazing.
I hope everyone is ready to strap further deep or to go further deeper into I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jennette McCurdy today.
I'm glad my mom
Oh my
died.
God. Can you guys see it? I got a book. There's a mark.
There's a mark
on
there.
my
What
book.
happened?
I'm so mad. Ugh.
Ew.
Anyways, I am so excited. I have been looking forward to this for a hot minute. And I am ready to talk about what we need to talk about. This week, we indulged in some Post-it notes. Thanks to Janie. Thank you, Janie.
Of course. And bookmarks.
And bookmarks. Look at this. Cute little bookmarks. I don't know if you can really see, but they are orange little flowers. And Janie has pink little flowers. Cute.
It came in a pack of like 6 for a few bucks. Love that.
But with our Post-it notes, we got some little hints and dints to kind of help us flow through these chapters
a little bit more
better.
Organized. Yeah.
Yes.
That way we're not shuffling and trying to find what we're wanting to talk about. This should be able to point it out a little bit quicker for us.
Right. But obviously, here at
2 books, 1 bottle,
we have that name for a reason. So, without further ado, we shall pull out. Hold on, I don't want to yet. We're gonna pull out this week's newest bottle, which is
what is it?
XXL Peach. Now, we were going in between a couple bottles. What?
I was just saying, I was drawn to the bottle. It looks good.
The bottle does look very nice. It looks very fancy. This was closer to the top shelf, so we did feel a little bouge. So we were going back and forth with a couple wines, and it was either like lemonade, peach, or cotton candy. And we went with this one, and we just looked it up, and apparently it's a dry Moscato.
So we'll see how that goes.
Fucking sucks, but we'll see what fucking happens.
We literally hate wine, but yet we have a show revolving around wine.
Well, we were supposed to be trying sweet wines, and I don't think the first week's wine was a sweet wine.
It wasn't. Yeah, it was. It was good. I didn't mind it.
It was a bit sweet.
I was upset that it didn't taste like honeydew melon, but that's okay.
No, not at all. There was not even like a melon.
There wasn't a hint of anything. Yeah.
No.
Weird.
But
I'm excited to try it. I mean, being Moscato in general, it's going to be the sweetest wine they have, so it can't be bad, even if it's a dry Moscato, I feel.
It says it's a ripe yellow peach combined to create a decadent, ripe, sweet experience.
Love that.
So it says sweet right there.
Oh, you have to do
more
ASMR
flavor, more
again.
intensity.
Wait, hold your mic for you.
Yes. So I have an idea to make this a little better. Hold on though. The video is going to go a little bit off right now for a sec, but please hold.
Adios, muchachos.
Okay, hold on. We're going to turn that down. And then I think we'll be able to hear stuff better. Okay.
Hello.
I'm going to pass the mic to Janie. Okay, anybody who is an audio listener, be prepared because the ASMR section of us pouring and opening this wine is happening.
Amazing.
Here you go.
Thanks.
Welcome to 2 Books, 1 Bottle ASMR section. Are you ready to open up XXL Peach with me?
More like XXX.
That's not this kind of show, Janet.
It can be.
On the count of 3. 1, 2. It's a little tight. My hands are a little slippery.
like with your, yeah. I don't know. I thought with your nails.
I don't know. Okay, are you ready for the pour?
Yeah.
Okay. Jane.
She's right there.
Where? Oh, I see it. Second pour.
Pour a good one. Amazing.
And that concludes 2 books, 1 bottle.
The concentration.
ASMR. Okay, that one was better.
Is that good?
Okay, just set it down. Yeah, just pop it down. Okay. Take that to you.
Thank you.
This. Okay, hold on.
Where'd you put the cap? Oh.
Is yours more full than mine? Oh, we need to pour the whole bottle.
Okay, bet. I have to go to the gym after this, by the way.
All right, there you go. All right, let me put this down.
I love my life.
This is fun, guys. This
It
is
smells
fun.
good. It smells
Okay.
good.
All right, let me just move this real quick back.
Get the aromas.
All right. Okay, how was that, everybody? I feel like that was way better than last week.
I agree.
Okay, now for the true factor. Why everyone is here.
Cheersy, cheersy.
Cheers. And gulp.
Goal.
Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, no. Let me, oh, okay. Wait a minute. Wait the fuck up. Okay. Because, listen.
It's so bad.
It tasted like peach. Okay, it's a 16% wine. And you feel all 16% of that, baby. All the way down. I started salivating. I was literally salivating in the back of my throat. Like, what the fuck happened?
I don't think that that's gonna be a good sipper for the night.
This is gonna fuck you up. You drink one bottle of this, you're fucking gone. There is no gym.
I have to go to the gym, so you're finishing like good 75%.
Dude, my insides are already warm. Like, I feel the warmth.
Me too.
Right here. Right in the little,
Me
like,
too.
esophagus. Not the, what is this? Sternum? Esophagus. Girl, oh my God. Think about it. If we drink this and get through the pod, by the time we're talking, we're going to be talking a bunch of nonsense.
Could we talk about how last time, the second you stopped filming, I passed out? Bitch, I was drunk.
Okay, yeah. This woman,
and I'm supposed to go to
like,
the gym. I didn't
slept.
go last week. I'm trying to sit up.
Okay. Oh God. Okay.
It is a strong one.
It's rough right here.
That's
All right.
that's a little sipper every time you drink that.
A little sipper, little dipper.
Yeah.
Okay,
Where
well,
should we start?
since we've
Give me some of your
gotten
first
that
bullet
out of
points.
the
Let's go
way,
through our bullet points.
let's start going chapter through chapter.
Because last week we went
what
through
did
1
we-
through 20. Now we're doing 20 through 40. And this was very intense. I feel like the first 20, with every book, it's slowly getting you into it. These 20 were good.
These ones were really.
They gave you a lot.
This is where we get introduced to her being started to iCarly.
Mm-hmm.
This is where she gets a little bit of freedom away from her mom. Stuff starts happening. We left. What was the last 19 story? Oh, goodness. That's what we should have looked up. That was the one thing we didn't.
What we read last.
Yeah, the last chapter.
Oh, well. It was before iCarly, I know that. We were talking about how she just got, like, she's starting to get her OCD.
Hold on. We got a cat
issues.
terrorizing. Hey,
Dobby.
stop messing with that camera, boy. Come up here and come be the mascot.
You being so sweet.
Look at him. He's coming.
Hi, Dobby.
Here's
He's like, oh
little
my
Dobby.
God, he's being nice.
Come here.
Let me go get love. Hi, Dobby boy.
He really likes these blankets that we're using. So these are like his favorite things to lay on. There he comes. This is Dobby. He's my little boy. That's his little butthole.
I feel like, honestly, 19 wasn't anything super dramatic. It was very short. It was one page, literally.
It didn't really say much, I will say.
It's talking about how she's getting a new manager. And it's like her fourth manager at this point. Oh my God, what are the
20
hiccups?
starts with...
Dude, I'm drunk already on that one sip. Help.
It's something.
That wine is awful.
So, chapter 20 starts with Jennette being... Oh, sorry, Dobby, I just hit him in the face. Jennette is sick. And her mom is... Even though she's sick and her mom knows she's sick, she's still forcing her to go to this audition. And pretty much just figuring like, hey, chug some Gatorade and you'll be
she had
fine.
Fever.
Right, like as if Gatorade is going to bring her fever down, because she had a fever, and even her mom said like, oh, keep chugging it, like that should definitely help bring your fever down. But it's like, girl, step in and be a mom, like realize like.
And she's making her still work. She's making her do auditions while she has 103 fever. And she's expecting a call back while she's doing that.
And this one, she's doing audition for a show called Karen Cisco, and she's supposed to be a homeless kid in this. Character. And during the first part of it, like she's very doesn't feel good. She's dragging. Her voice kind of sounds gross. She just has this like look and feel to her, which
probably helped play the part though.
Right. So, but for this role, it had a lot of callback. So by the fourth callback, she's feeling fine. Like she's already like, okay, like I'm not sick anymore. Like I'm ready to just do this shit. But now that's when she starts double like thinking herself was like, oh my God, was me being sick helping? And sure as shit, besides the point, she still gets this role. And I think like the big thing about this was she got this role and her mom cared more about the role than her being sick.
Oh, 100%. That's all she cares about.
Like there's a lot about what the role was and like the people else that she was auditioning with, but majority was just like you kind of see, hey, her mom is going to put auditioning and getting roles and making that moolah over anything, especially over Jennette's health. 21.
Yeah, there was some good stuff on 21. This is where, on top of Jennette's health, kind of, she apparently didn't book a role with a Boyardee commercial, Chef Boyardee, because she didn't know how to pogo stick. So her mom started making her learn everything that she possibly could. So she had to learn pogo sticking, hula hooping, jump roping, double dutch, piano, dance, jazz, tap, lyrical, hip hop, flexibility, 12th grade readability, all special skills that her mom would promote that she has. Trying to get her all these random roles and making her learn all these special talents just in case that's what the thing requires. But then she also talks about how she was writing a resume at 11 years old and how at 11 I didn't even know what a resume was when I was 11 years old. So, Dobby.
And the big thing with this whole part, and even with all of her special skills, the first special skill that was the one special skill that was above all, that was the most important, is crying on camera.
Yeah, she can cry on cue. Mm-hmm.
And so
she can.
This part, she's really thinking about, she's explaining like what she thinks about when she's trying to make herself cry, in a sense. So she'll talk about her grandpa dying of old age, or her brother's dying, or something this bad happening, something that bad happening. But interesting enough, like she will put everybody else that she loves in these imaginary situations of horrible things to make herself cry. But she will never put her mom in one of those. She'll never think about her mom.
Yeah, she never wants her mom to be upset.
She feels as though if she puts those thoughts out or if she thinks about that with her mom already have cancer or have had cancer, if she like has these thoughts, she'll put it back out in the world and it'll come back, which is also, I feel like that's very, I mean, shit, that's just like getting back what you put out. Like that's just a lot of people think like that. Like even as adults, like I'm not going to jinx myself at work. Like if we want a busy day, I'm not going to go out and be like, oh my God, I hope it's so busy. And then of course I'm going to be like, oh my God, no, I just jinxed myself, or, you know, vice versa. Like there's always that thought. So it was like, even from a young age, she was like, nope. Like her mom is in such a different category than everybody else.
Mm-hmm. Well, again, she literally only has her mom. She's homeschooled. She doesn't have friends. She doesn't have any consistent like circle of someone outside of her mom and brothers and grandpa. And she doesn't even seem close with her brothers really. But in this chapter, she also does kind of like express for the first time to her mom that she doesn't really like acting.
Oh my God.
The line is rough. But
yeah, this one really, it was just like, listen.
Some of the chapters aren't like as dramatic as some of the other ones too.
Well, I think with this one, it goes to show like this crying on cue, special skill is a put above everything else. It's the only thing that really fucking matters. And it doesn't care what you have to do. You just have to fucking do it. And that's all that anybody cares about. It doesn't matter about what emotional toll it's putting on you or what you have to put yourself through or what you have to feel in order to get to this point. All that matters is crying on cue, getting the good shot, like having that special skill. Like it's, I don't know. I always, when I was a kid, man, because I think this is now when we're starting to get to her, she's older. Now looking back and like seeing everything that like really these kids have to give up, I'm like, man, I'm so glad I was not put into this. Like we can sit here and have these like lights, cameras, and like put ourselves on the internet to be judged, but that's our opinion. That's our wanting. We decided to do this. These poor kids, they didn't, like Jennette right here, she didn't want to do this. Like she knew from the get-go right away, this is what her mom wanted. And to make her mom happy, she had to just agree and just go with it.
But like also when she was younger, she enjoyed it because it made her mom happy. She didn't realize how much she herself didn't enjoy it.
The extent of her happiness that she was giving away.
I feel like 22. Did you find anything interesting in that one?
So this one, 22 is actually really good. So in 22, she has a audition where she needs to cry on cue. Like this is the one. And as they're driving to the audition, Jennette like feels it. Like this is not gonna go like good. Yeah.
He's drunk. He's already drunk.
No, stop it. I do feel warm though.
I swear to God, I do from that one sip.
Like already. But no, she's in the car. She's on her way. She's been practicing lines. I feel like at some point, if you're practicing crying and crying and crying, it's going to, you're going to run out. Like you can't sustain just constantly crying. Well, Jennette gets to this point and she knows it. She is not going to be able to cry. She knows it. And she's pretty much just like, Mom, I don't feel it. Like I'm not going to be able to do it. And Mom's like, don't, you're going to do it. You're going to be Emily. You're going to do this. You're going to be great. Well, this is when Jennette is like, okay, I'm going to take this opportunity and I'm going to tell my mom I don't want to act anymore. I've had it. I'm tired of feeling like I'm being an imposter. I'm tired of being embarrassed. I'm tired of being shy. I'm tired of being nervous. Like, I'm over it. And she tells her mom, I don't want to act. And her mom just instantly is like, don't be silly. You love acting. It's your favorite thing in the world.
So her mom was hysterical.
Forcing her opinions and her views onto her mom.
Mm-hmm. So she just goes, never mind.
To her.
Forget I said anything.
And it's instantly, like, she doesn't even, like, well, she does. She goes like, no, I don't really want to. Like, I don't like it. It makes me uncomfortable. But right away, like, her mom freaks out, like, instantly twists, starts crying, and was put the pressure onto Jennette and was like, you can't quit. This was our chance. This was our way out. Like, we got it. This was our chance.
And then right after, she's hysterical. She goes, well, Jennette knows how to try and cheer her mom up. So she goes, never mind, forget it. Let's play your Phil Collins album. And the mom instantly is like singing along and having a great time. So the instant mood switch, I can only imagine growing up with that, and that's all you're used to as well. You're constantly on edge. Well,
and that was the thing. There was no talk about Jennette's feelings. There was no question as to...
She didn't even like have time to know her feelings.
She didn't even ask. Mm-mm. She didn't even try to understand. She didn't even ask a simple question of why. Mm-hmm. Why do you not want to act anymore? What happened to make you feel this way? It was just an instant, what about me? What about me? What about me? Mm-hmm. And I thought it was interesting too, because it was an instant like, oh, she's like, never mind. I want to act. And her mom instantly dropped the tears. Instantly was like,
hysterical. She banged and honked her horn and shit.
Like, it does too, makes it seem like this woman was not sad. This woman wanted... Get out of it. Stop. She just He's putting his head through a bag. Like, he's gonna choke himself out and die. What the fuck? But no, when I read that, it's an act. This mom is solely, genuinely manipulating her daughter on purpose.
She knows what she's doing. This kid, she's what, like 10 or 11 here?
I don't quite remember.
Because it talks about, yeah, she's probably about 11 in this situation.
But it's just, it is kind of crazy to me that her mom is so blatantly, and it sucks too because Jennette's not old enough to see it, or she hasn't had enough life experiences to have had this happen to her before. Mm-hmm. So when it's your mom, like, you're not second guessing her motives. You're not thinking that she's got something in the back of her mind planned. But her mom is dead ass manipulating her daughter to do what she wants to get money.
And I feel like
to get
the mom too,
her dream.
Like, she's doing it, and she's also probably not remorseful. Like, she doesn't realize how beyond fucked up it is to be doing that to Jennette. But continuing to 23, it just goes into her grandpa.
23 was really just like, 23 goes to show that, like, God damn it, at least she had one normal person in her life. Like, her grandpa
cared, at least.
He was like, yo, you're a fucking child. Why are you worrying about paying bills?
Well, yeah, she supported her entire family at 11 years old.
That's where we get the 11. And she's like, bro, like, she should be a kid. She should not be worrying about, like, the well-being of her family. She should not have the weight of her world. Like, she needs to be a child. Mm-hmm. And I think
it says, where are you, 82? On 81 at the end. Because it talks about how she could cry and cue all the time. And that was, like, her specialty. It talks about how that was her first time being able to, like, naturally cry. And she doesn't remember the last time she was able to do that.
Honest, what made her cry was just the fact that he said, like, you deserve to be a kid.
Yeah.
And that made her cry. Was one adult.
Because she's never gotten that kind of acknowledgement before, probably. You know? She doesn't even know what a childhood is, unfortunately.
Right, that was ripped away from her. Mm-hmm. And I think that's when these are like the seeds being planted in her realizing, wait the fuck up. Mm-hmm. I didn't get to choose this. I didn't want this. I've been exploited,
Mm-hmm.
and I've been used for money. I also liked it too. I think it also shows the maturity that this has caused Jennette to have as such a young child, because her grandpa gives her a little like Mike Wazowski antenna thing, you know, like the little things like the Jack in the Box head that you would get and you'd put on your antenna. It was like a Mike Wazowski
back when
one.
cars had those. For satellite.
Like her grandpa is more like, oh my god, this is fun, like it makes me laugh, and she's just like, oh, it's cute. Like she keeps it because it's from her grandpa, but like you could tell like as a child this does not excite her. It doesn't do anything for her. She immediately puts it back into her pocket and then goes right back to studying, goes right back to working on a Russian accent that she had to work on. Like it's sad. Like Mike Wazowski, I fucking loved Monster Inc. as a kid. If I would have got that shit, I would have been ecstatic. Through the roof. At least it's a little toy that I could play with. And she don't even know. She's just like, fuck it, I got shit to do. 24. What we got in 24?
I don't know, it talks about her mom being sick and whatnot. I just mainly wrote down about how sad it was that her mom didn't care that she wrote a screenplay and was offended that she didn't want to act instead.
Right. So,
and it's like, she's just a kid. She's going to explore different things as well. Like, she doesn't even know that she's like full-time acting. How do you don't have comprehension skills that young for this kind of shit, I feel.
Seriously. So this point, chapter 24, we get notified by way that Grandpa and Jennette are already on their way to see Mom because she's back in the hospital. I don't really know.
It wasn't for like cancer.
No, she was
her
or whatever. Diverticulitis, which actually I have that. I one time a little like fun. Yeah, I have diverticulosis.
Okay.
And what it is, it's little holes in your colon, and it is very common. Huh?
You're telling me about this once.
Yes. It is little like holes in your colon, and it's very common for people over the age. It starts happening for people like in their 40s, and then by the time you're like 60, it's like common for everyone to have them. Like it's just a normal thing that happens over time. Well, apparently, I don't know, I was at work and I was just walking through and I felt like I had a hernia. Like dead as I was walking through, and every left step, it felt like something was like bulging out like the left side of my pelvis. And I was like, this shit hurts. I have to go to urgent care. I think I'm dying. Go to urgent care. They make me do the test. I had to go get, I think an MRI or I don't know, scans of something. And then they were like, oh no, you have diverticulitis. Because that's like the itis. I was like, what the fuck is that? Well, you have diverticulosis, and which is the holes in your colon. And then when it's itis, it's inflamed, and that's what causes the pain. Well, it's extremely uncommon and rare for people in their 20s to fucking have it. And I don't know how I have it, but like, it's all just about like my diet. I don't know. You eat right. My grandpa had it, and he, I guess, just took a bunch of like garlic pills and was chilling and was totally fine and like never really had a problem. So I've just been kind of watching what I eat, take a little fucking garlic pills, and I haven't had a problem since. But that's my story. But anyways, Jennette and her grandma or grandpa are on the way to the hospital, and this whole time she's just like super excited. Like she's saying like, oh, I had wrote this screenplay, and I'm really excited to like show my mom. I just want to get there and like tell her, and it'll be super fun. And like right away she runs in, shoves all of the shit on her little like tray over, and she's like, boom, here's my screenplay Henry wrote. Not even like no emotion, straight concern, like, you wrote a screenplay? The fuck? Like, and then quick, like, have you been going outside? And have you been going to your dance classes? Have you been doing this? Like, just completely, like, not caring about the screenplay. And then, like, looks through, and it's just like...
And it says she prefers writing to acting in here, too.
All right. She's like looking through and she's like, well, I hope you just like don't focus on writers and focus on actors because like writers are ugly. And like, it's just like they're boring.
And she always keeps saying watermelon butts too.
Yes. She was like, writers, they sit down and they don't do anything and then they get fat and like ugly and they have like ugly butts. And like, it's just like all about appearance, all about like the materialistic.
That's all the mom cares about.
Stupid shit. And yeah, even in this, she's like, Jennette straight up says, is like, I've realized like I like writing. Writing's my shit, not acting. It's nice to be behind the camera. It's nice to create these worlds and not feel all these eyes on you. And at the very end, her mom like she even says as an afterthought, she was like, well, what the fuck is this stupid things about? And Jennette's like, yeah, it's about like a 10-year-old kid and her friend trying to get their single parents together. And we all know like Parent Trap and like it's been done before. But if it's your child and they wrote something and you know they're young and they don't know, you keep your fucking mouth shut and you're proud. Her mom's only response was, they already did that in Parent Trap. Like, not even the fact of like, hey, as a young child, you sat down, you wrote something, you worked on something, and now you have like, your creative process is now here as a kid. Like that's hard to do. It's hard to stay focused on something like that. So just to not even like acknowledge or see anything else than her mom's dreams or what her mom wants is just sad. Honestly, like fucking the further we get into this, man, I'm like, shit, Jennette, I'm glad your mom died too. Me too, girl.
No, literally.
25.
25 is a good one. Starts with how she is like saying that she likes the color purple, but she ends up always going with pink because her mom prefers pink, and so she likes pink. So I mean, stupid, small little example, but just how much she tries to mimic her mom. And I feel like that's just how it is with daughter and moms. Like you're always trying to be your mom, I feel. So it's sad, but this is, I feel like, where it starts getting kind of dark into her eating disorder and how depressing, like, of just the mom. Like the kid's literally 11. But talks about how Jennette feels a lump when she's like feeling her boobs, and so she runs to her mom and she's worried, and because she pays the bills and she's a child, so she's worried because her dad can't pay the bills, so if she's sick, so she runs to her mom, and her mom's laughing because she realizes that she's just getting boobs, and so Jennette doesn't want boobs, and she tells her mom that, and so her mom sends her down a spiral of going on a calorie deficit as she's 11 years old, and eating less than 1,000 calories a day. And her mom would be thankful and happy when she would eat like half of it. And the meals they were eating were sad. It was like half granola bars, salads, grilled chicken, just boring food, especially for an 11-year-old.
Yeah, I think this is where we start seeing like Jennette hates the idea of growing up.
Mm-hmm.
She thinks if she grows up, then she's going to disappoint her mom. Her mom wants a child actor. Her mom wants this person to like take care of her, and like vice versa in a sense. And if she's growing up, then that's taking away everything that she could give to her mom, as well as that takes away her abilities to book these child roles. And she's like, no, like I can't do that. I can't give up the ability to give my mom what she wants.
Well, she has the ability to, because she's older, she doesn't have to do all these child labor. She has a lot of loopholes that she goes through, so she gets more bookings because of that. And if she doesn't look like a child, she's not going to get those roles anymore. So she doesn't want boobs. And she's I think she's like 4'11".
Well, yeah,
short.
During this time, she was explaining like the fact that she had already been pretty skinny, and with her being how she was, it was very easy for her to go in here and still act as a younger child, even though she was older. And so the fact that here we go, now she's getting older, now she's developing into a woman and she's growing these breasts, that's not anything you could do. That happens, girl.
Yeah.
But she doesn't know that, and she's not going to have a supportive mother that is going to let her learn to be okay with her body and how it just naturally develops, like right away. And like you were saying, she was just like, no, like I need to stay young, because her mom would even say to her specifically, like, you will book more, like you'll do way more if you stay young. So right away, that's Jennette's first thought. It's just like, what, mom said this? And she's just like, fuck out of here.
And it says too that it's just sad with the mom, because she goes, I take to calorie restriction quickly and I'm quite good at it. I'm desperate to impress mom. She's a great teacher because she's been calorie restricting for so long, she tells me. So the mom obviously has deep-rooted fab diet shit from that generation, and same with, I'm assuming, a lot of other moms. And I mean, I ain't gonna get into my own issues, but my mom definitely did some weird diets with me, and where I was eating 500 calories a day, and you're growing, like that's literally it's your prime time. And as a parent, that should be your number one focus, is making sure your child is nourished and healthy, not trying to make them skinny and underweight.
And it's the fact that she was just so willing and okay to do this to Jennette. She was so down to, okay, you're a child and you need to be
for someone.
Yeah, you need to be counting calories.
Because especially when you do that, and so strictly, I mean, you completely mess up your metabolism. You're going to lose weight very quickly, as she talks about how she lost 3 pant sizes. And she's a child. Why is she losing 3 pant sizes? And I'm sure she didn't have weight to lose in general anyways. But especially when you're starving yourself, if you're going to completely take that away and your body's not having anything to eat, the second you eat, you're gaining all of that back and then some. So your it's just going to completely screw with you. And that's why her mom is however old in this book, and she's never been one that eats. Because if she ate, she wouldn't be skinny. So she's trying to teach her kid to not eat.
And she says too in the book that
you can eat and be skinny.
She only has hot tea every morning for breakfast, nothing in it, a plate of steamed vegetables every night for dinner, nothing on them. She rarely eats lunch, and if she does, it's a salad with no dressing or half a chocolate chip granola bar.
Like how boring.
Doesn't eat anything. But the sad part is mom is taking Jennette under her wing to teach her
to starve herself.
Calorie restriction. So her mom's down and she's going to do it. Jennette sees all of this, sees how her moms eat, and her reaction is, oh, I'm in good hands. Like she's going to teach me right. She's going to make me so skinny and this is going to be great. And boom, like it worked. Like the thinner she got, like the stricter they got, and nobody seemed any problem. She said her favorite foods were sugar-free popsicles, applesauce, and unsweetened iced tea. First of all, bitch,
11-year-old.
Iced tea. Iced tea is not a fucking food. You don't food. Her favorite food was
unsweet too. I'm sorry, but if you drink unsweet tea, I'm judging you. We talked about this earlier. Disgusting.
It doesn't.
It tastes like dirty. It tastes like cigarette water.
It just doesn't. It doesn't add it. You don't get any like fulfillment. It's not like, oh, I'm hungry, I'm gonna drink a fucking tea and now I'm full.
No, literally.
It's so ridiculous. That fact, I don't know. This is some shit where it was just like, man, what the fuck? And it's how sad. I know that, like, as we've seen here, Jennette's mom's a fucking psycho. She has chased her dad out of the house with a knife multiple times, has immediately gone from 0 to 100 over the smallest things, has gone from 100 to 0 in the blink of an eye, which is also very terrifying behavior. But at some point, when does grandma and grandpa, when does dad, when does somebody fucking step in?
No
like
one. I don't know. Not yet, at least.
Are we all just so terrified of this woman, or just so under her spell?
Literally.
Like, what the fuck is wrong with everybody else in this household? They're just watching this little girl just get skinnier and skinnier and skinnier, and just watching her get
it.
They just watch her get riddled with anxiety all the time, and they just don't say shit. Like, I don't understand. But luckily, there is an outsider who does say something, but of course, like, it goes onto deaf ears because it's a doctor. Jennette has to go for, I don't know, just like an exam of something, like nothing crazy, just going to get like a little checkup or something. But this doctor goes and takes her weight, and it said she was 61 pounds. Like, she was
hoping for 59, right?
Well,
and this is when she weighed herself 5 times a day.
The scale at home said 59. So she was like, what the fuck? As she said, as I heard the words come out of her mouth, they feel morphed and wrapped. I'm crushed. The scale at home said 59. I immediately tried to read mom's expression. It's even, which means disappointment. I am even more crushed. Like, her mom's mad that she was 61 pounds as a 12, 13-year-old right now.
Oh, and up here it talks about, too, a little bit about right before she did go weigh herself, she touched the size slim 5 times in hopes that she would weigh what she wanted to.
I don't know. Well,
it's just sad. She's 11. I still can't wrap my head around that.
It's crazy because, well, anyways.
Well, this is the first time she hears anorexia.
Well, because, yeah, the doctor comes in, and obviously this is extremely not okay. And hello, a child, especially her age, should not be that small. So the doctor calls her out and is like, yo, I want to speak to you about Jennette's weight. And her mom instantly was like, oh, she's eating normal, like no change. She's been perfectly fine. And the doctor was like, well, sometimes when young girls have like, anorexia, they get like bad habits.
Just read about it.
And like, so her mom was just like, oh, I'll keep an eye, I promise. Like, just like lying, even though like
she's the one inducing it. And
her mom is the one. Yep. Causing it, encouraging it, wanting Jennette to get smaller. This is all just a part of what her mom wants.
And it's hard because it's now like imprinted in Jennette's brain. So for her to now have the habit of this eating disorder and it feel like rewarding to her when she's not eating and whatever else, that's gonna forever be there. Like, you're making a very big statement on that child, and I'm sure her relationship now probably still is rough. Like, it's hard. You're never going to have a stable relationship with food.
Well, and that even wasn't the only time that anorexia was brought up to her mom specifically. Her dance teacher had actually stopped her mom after the talk with her doctor because she wanted to talk to her mom and say, hey, like, it seems like Jennette's losing weight. Like, she could have anorexia. And her mom was just like, oh, let's talk about this some other time. Like, we got to get out of here.
Just brushed it off real quick.
And so at this point, that's when Jennette's like, okay, I've heard it plenty. What does anorexia mean? And just like everything else in, like, has been brought up to her mom, unless it's productive to acting or to what her dream wants, don't worry about it. Like, it's just dramatic. Brush it off. Doesn't even say what it's about. Doesn't give her anything. Like, doesn't notice that, hey, multiple people are saying something now. Just doesn't care. And then they just keep like, oh, have you been practicing your lines? And keep going on about whatever the fuck they talked about on that car ride home and never got brought up again.
The next one's nothing too crazy. It just talks about how she's potentially going to become an inactive Mormon. And she's confused about it, and her mom is offended that she's asking about it, but they are still currently going to church here and there. she's not going when she has a very, like, a new episode comes out, because it could be very overwhelming, they said, but they'll skip the next couple weeks when something releases with Jennette in it. Other than that, they still go.
Well, because church means a lot to Jennette, and as we've learned in the past, this was her one escape from her home. This was the only time she could get away from everything and not have to worry about her mom, not have to worry about home. She didn't like being home, so this was her escape from away from home. And she didn't like acting, and she didn't like anything else that she was doing. So all those were chores and all those were tiring. Church was the one thing that she liked. And they go in, and it gets brought up that she's going to be inactive because everybody at this, she gets put into a church program. And apparently on this church program, everyone's assigned a role. And she was assigned like assistant to the assistant or something. And so she was like, well, what the fuck? Like, why don't I have an actual role? And so this like little girl who, like, you know how it is when they're kids, like everyone wants to pick on everybody and everybody's like, it's just digging. Well, this like Michaela girl was just doing it and was like, oh, they gave you your position because they think you'll probably eventually become inactive. Like, they don't want to give people inactive big roles because you're just going to leave. And Jennette's like, well, what the fuck, bitch? Like, I fucking love church. Like, I'm going to be here. Like, the fuck you mean? And yeah, so she brings up like to her mom. She was like, are we going to become like inactive Mormons? She's like, no, why would you even ask that? And so this is too where it's like, I feel like you would, as an adult, would then just reassure your child or just be like, oh no, we'll be good. Or you do things to reassure your child as for you as the parent. No, I will make sure for you. Like, we will do this. Like, keep it in the family. But Jennette was just like, hey, like, are we going to be inactive Mormons? Her mom asked why. So Jennette just says, Michaela said the reason I got assigned assistant secretary is because they think we'll probably go inactive. Jennette's mom responds, oh, please. What does Mackenzie Lindsay know? She's adopted. Like, we have a grown woman fucking shitting on a child for being adopted. Like, as if that's a bad thing. And then now also too, it's just like pushing those like ideas onto Jennette, and she's just now going to be like, oh, well, fuck her for being adopted. Waiting now too, like, it's probably just because like Jennette knows deep down that Michaela's right. Like, they definitely ain't going to continue going to church because, well, we know her mom. And like you said, every single time her TV, Jennette getting a role, Jennette dancing, Jennette learning a skill was always more important than anything else. So of course it was going to be more important than the one thing that Jennette actually liked and actually enjoyed doing. This one, chapter 27, this got me real good because if you remember in the first 20, it talked about when Jennette was 8 or 9 or whatever, her mom was showering her. And I want to say when I first read that, I was like, that's weird. Like, that is weird. Like, I know as a like growth of a child, like you bathe a child, then you like teach them how to bathe themselves. But then you send them on your own. You go on, you do it yourself. Like, you grow up. Well, Jennette's mom decides that no, she still needs to be showered. Like, she can't do it by herself. I have to do it. I have to get everything.
And she has to do it because she doesn't know how to, she won't be able to take care of her own hair. Her hair texture. She needs to shampoo her hair correctly. And her mom was a hairdresser. So she wants to like believe her mom and take her mom's opinion into consideration. But
right. She just instantly is just like, oh, well, she was a hairdresser, so she knows right. She knows better than me.
Yeah, but as a 16-year-old and being forced to shower with your brother, that's not.
Well, Jennette wasn't 16 exciting. At this time. Her brother was 16. And this is where we're now being known, and Jennette is now, I'm uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. I dread shower time. She says, my whole body freezes. Oh no, not shower time. Like, it is a torturous thing for her. And yeah, it's not even worse enough that at this point she's got to be 11, 12, like old enough where like, I remember like I was been showering by myself and I would genuinely be embarrassed, because that's also too where like, yeah, your body starts to grow. And so not even on top of that, they have her showering with her 16-year-old brother Scotty, which that has to just be like one of the worst experiences ever, especially now for everybody. Like with Scotty now being 16 years old, like at 16, I know how old I was. Like, I know what I was doing. And like at that point now you've got, I doubt they did because of their like financial situation, but a lot of people, like, that's when kids start getting cars. They start getting a little more freedom. They start going like exploring with each other. And now you've got your little sister in the shower with you. Like, that's uncomfortable. And not even that, your mom too is washing all of y'all.
And she's doing the checks too, where she's making sure there's no weird lumps. So she's doing body checks on them.
Yeah,
which is disgusting. I don't know if it was this chapter, but it talks about it somewhere.
She gives her a breast and front butt exam. And
disturbing.
This is when
been filming for an hour.
She perfect.
This is not even halfway through.
This is a lot.
I have to go to the gym.
This part, man, she really starts to. She also explains that, like, yo, she has this whole fantasy land that she goes to. This is the only way that she is gonna survive this, which is very sad, because I feel like when you hear kind of stories like that, when you hear people explaining that they have to put themselves into a fantasy land to get through situations, they're very horrid and very traumatic to the person. And you have to do this like every day with your mom, and every single day you're having to put yourself in this fake imaginary world, turn yourself off, pretty much have a out of body experience. And what can you do? You can't get out of it. It's something that you just look forward to and dread every single day. We 28. I'm a little careful moving this. You can hear it. 28. We hit iCarly. We're here. Oh, girl, I was so excited. I was so excited to finally get to this point, girl. iCarly. Are you gonna say anything?
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, she books iCarly. I didn't really make notes on this one too much, because it talks about being booked with iCarly, and these chapters are super quick. So then she got a gift card from Miranda. The next one, and she's like trying to become friends with her. She was really excited about booking iCarly. The mom was super excited about it because it's her first like actual role that's not just a one-time in and out. So it was definitely a big deal that she booked iCarly, and they know that they're going to be getting their bills paid easily. But
yeah, 28.
I don't know, it's very quick. That one's literally like not even, I mean, like a full page, I guess, back and forth. But
28, 29, and 28. Yeah, 28, 29.
It's all kind of like
30.
the same story that goes back to back about it, like all kind of starting. And how she's like starting to meet Miranda and become friends with Miranda. And I don't know, it's interesting to see how their friendship started. And I can only imagine as like, I don't know Miranda's history, but being homeschooled and not having friends, you're shy, you don't know how to talk to another girl. And she talks about how when she first saw Miranda, she's sitting over there with like a Coke and she's texting on her sidekick, and she thought Miranda was so cool because she was able to drink Coke and whatnot. But I don't know, I can imagine being shy and wanting to be friends though, and like not knowing how to start that.
Right. These ones, one just like, okay, she gets booked. She's very excited. She goes in, and this is this is the change. This is what she wanted. Her mom is so excited. Then we jump to her having her first day. She's bombarded with baskets. There's baskets of this, baskets of that, and her mom is delegating them away. Oh, we'll put this here, we'll put this there, we'll give that. Well, Miranda gives Jennette this basket of milk duds, some candies, cool shit. There's movie tickets to this like fancy movie theater that's across the street that she had never been to, and her mom was always like, oh, that's way too expensive. Like, there's no reason to spend that much money on a movie. So she's like, oh my god, this Miranda chick's cool as hell. Look, she gave me this cool gift. And then like Janie was saying, she's seeing around, she was this girl that she is admired and was like, whoa, look at her, she's everything that I can't be. Well, she's got to return the favor now in chapter 30. Like, she's like, all right, Miranda got her some cool ass gifts, we need to go and return the favor. Well, we know how Jennette's mom is they ain't gonna be out spending money on some silly stuff. So they go.
I'm sure too by this point Miranda had good money. She was on Drake and Josh. She had way more roles than Jennette was at this time. So I mean, $100 gift card probably wasn't as detrimental as it would have been to them, which I get. But it's like, as Jennette's age, like, it's embarrassing.
Well, and also I think Jennette has done plenty of roles, but knowing her mom,
she's not gonna spend that.
Hell no. And she ain't gonna give Jennette any of that money to spend on some stupid shit.
So she's still in like a frugal stage.
Literally. So they go to a Hallmark greeting card store and they pick out like a little plush panda and a journal. And her mom's like, oh, this is good. Like, this is perfect. And it's like mortifying Jennette because, like, obviously kids know kids. Mm-hmm. She got this cool ass basket with all this cool ass shit, and she was finna show up with a plushie and a journal. Like, she was pissed. And what was she gonna do? She wasn't gonna say shit to her about her mom. She wasn't gonna be able to do anything. She tried to be like, maybe there's something better, like maybe we can find it. And her mom wasn't having none of it. And they're like, nope, this is perfect. So they like go. I think she said she like just dropped it and ran. She was like, I do not need to be confronting Miranda with these shitty ass gifts. Mm-hmm. But Miranda's that dope ass bitch. She ain't worried about nothing. And she's just really appreciative. So she goes up and she's like, hey girl, like, thanks for the gifts. It's super cute. I love it. Like, I really wanted to get back into journaling, so I'm going to take this opportunity, which I think is really cool. Like, she saw a gift. Was it an amazing gift? No, but she's still appreciative, nice, and she still like put that through. So then she was like, oh, hey, Miranda to Jennette was like, girl, you got AOL? Like, what's up? Let's talk. Let's be friends. So Jennette didn't, but she lied and said, yeah. So added her. And that's where like this friendship with Miranda really started. And that's how they got close, was they were talking. They were emailing. They were aiming
back
all
in the day.
The time.
I will say I have a funny story about that kind of correlates with this. My mom never had the most moolah, and I had a friend that did have some good moolah, and she got me a really good birthday gift. I mean, I was very thankful for it. I never expected her to get me the cool stuff she did. But when the time came for her birthday, I mean, I was like 13. I didn't have money. So I asked my mom to get her a gift, and she literally got her like candy from the dollar store and a card. And I remember being so embarrassed to bring her that gift for her birthday. So it's like, I fully understand where Jennette's coming from, because you know it doesn't compare to what that person has given you. And I don't know. It's just funny to think about, like, as a kid, like, does it really matter? No. And my friend wasn't like Miranda. We literally stopped being friends about it. She got mad I didn't get her a nice gift. But
oh, I mean, that's how kids are. But that's why you have that, like, thought in your head of like, oh fuck, I know I got a shitty gift, it does not equate. Mm-hmm. And now I'm embarrassed.
It shows Miranda is a genuine person though, because she still accepted the gift and was happy about it and stayed trying to become Jennette's friend. So that was nice.
Now when we moved to 31, it was another short one, but I love this one was a big one. This one is where the first time we get a mention of the quote unquote the creator, i.e.
Dun, dun, dun.
We all know I don't know. It never says it intentionally, but like Dan Schneider,
literally, we all know.
the creator. And this is like, ugh. It's, first of all, it's like, oh, she's trying on like bathing suits, bikinis, and
they're taking Polaroid pictures of her trying these on to show him. And he know damn well he's keeping those.
That's the thing, dude. Is like, at first
she's
I was like,
child.
Okay, she's trying these on for the show, doing like whatever. It doesn't say exactly what she's trying these on for, but she's trying on bikinis.
Well, think about it. When the hell did you see a bikini in iCarly?
There was a couple times.
Was there?
Yeah.
Oh.
But like, yeah, she's like trying it on, and then she vocalizes, I'm uncomfortable, I don't want to do this. Then they push for like, oh, well, you have to try on these other options. And then it pushes to, well, the creator really wants this. And it's it's
not negotiable.
We can't force you to do it. But also, we're really not telling you. We're not asking.
Yeah.
It's the creator. The creator wants this. Like, this is the creator wants. Like, you know how it is. He gets what he wants.
You're not going to be on his bad side.
And then boom, it's fucking Polaroids. They're snapping fucking Polaroids of all the little kids. Like, because it wasn't just her.
And the mom's over there trying to make her do it too, which I feel like as a mom, like if I had a young kid that was in some kind of modeling, acting career, whatever, if they were taking pictures like that, I mean, I would be a little creeped out, especially knowing that it's going to some weird old man. What are you looking for?
Right. Nothing. That one just, it just, especially now knowing what we know. Reading this, it's just an instant.
Just all of the weird crap the creator did. And not just with Jennette, but with all of the Nickelodeon stars. And I mean, there's no way that it's not him.
Right. We know. Well, and also, we know who the creator of iCarly is.
So
32 is about her first.
This one's sad.
This one's about her first kiss. She's very uncomfortable. It obviously has to happen on camera.
It's with her and Mr. Freddie.
Freddie and Sam.
Which I remember watching that, and I remember like being a kid, being like, "Oh."
Yeah, we were down with it. Apparently, Jennette was doing it wrong. She don't know how to kiss, and man, that creator was gonna let her know, and he was pissed, and he was yelling at her, "Jennette, do more head movements, do this, do that," and she's uncomfortable. She's like, "I've never had a kiss before. I don't want my first kiss to be like this. What am I gonna do?"
And I just think about it now too, and it's like with the creator there, like watching children kiss. He's disturbing. He's disturbing. But I mean, your first kiss is such a big deal. I mean, it was for me at least, and I can only imagine, like, I was older like Jennette too, where like you grow up and you see all this stuff on TV and your friends around you are doing it and whatever. So I always wonder what it's like. And for that pressure to be filmed, I wouldn't be, and especially with someone that you're not even like dating or like talking to or whatever. Like, it's not, you're not crushing on him.
Right. This is your friend.
Like, that's just weird.
One, you've never kissed anybody before, so it's already like such a weird thing.
Too much pressure with that.
Each time too, she's getting yelled at by the creator to move your head, do better. You're not doing this. You're not giving enough. 7 different times. They have to do it over and over and over again. And even on the last one, like, she's like, okay, like, I'm moving my head. I start moving it back and forth. I'm like swaying around. And
I can only imagine, like, not knowing what you're doing. She's probably over there just like.
That's what I'm assuming. I want to.
There's no way. Because you don't know what you're doing.
And I know what episode they're talking about. They're talking about the episode of Freddie and Sam's first kiss.
Like, ledge or some shit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I want to go back and watch that kiss because I think I have a faint memory of, like, Sam's head going, like, Jennette's head going, like, back and forth.
Yeah. No, literally. But, like, as a kid, also myself, like, I didn't know, really. So I just remember thinking, like, oh, my God, cute.
They're getting it.
Sammy and Freddie.
But even at the end, like, the director's still not happy.
He's and he had to leave, though. So he's like, it'll do.
Yeah, he asked, do we have time for another? And they're like, no, we got to, like, get shit done. So he's like pissed off and then storms off to go get food because like fuck
Freddie
everyone
seems
else.
nice though, Nathan, his real name, but he knew it was her first kiss, and he seemed like he probably wasn't wanting to do it himself, you know, so he was pretty nice about it, it seems.
Yes. 33.
Ew, I didn't like this one.
This is where
I do not like the creator. I mean,
No.
I'm sure absolutely no one does, but
her and her mom are on the way to lunch for the creator. Her mom is kind of coaching her, make sure big smiles, make sure be happy, because they're sitting down and Jennette McCurdy will be getting her own spinoff
oh, wow.
in a couple years.
And it's
Under conditions.
so manipulating. So, like, and as the mom, too, to, like, sit there and fall for it, he's obviously just trying to get you to fucking listen to him and do exactly what he wants you to do, and he's going to bribe you with this info. And, I mean, obviously, she did eventually get kind of a spinoff of Sam and Cat, but it was still never Sam.
Which, in this thing, he does specifically... And he does that tactic where he goes, "Oh my God, you're one of the best. You're
Exactly. Which
acting
you know he's
circle."
doing with everyone.
Huh?
Yeah, so, but you know he's doing with everyone to try and get them to just, like, follow along.
And Jennette knows it too, and she makes sure to let it know. But he just goes on saying how amazing she is, how great, and they're going to get a show. Just puck it. But it is in a few years. iCarly's doing great. She needs to wait. Which goes back to what you were saying is... It's such a manipulative tactic to get to doing what he wants. Because he even says, if you do what I say, if you listen to my direction, if you stand on my wing, if you follow everything I say, then this will happen. Then this will work for you. As well as also, if this is something that you're wanting to do, why are you bringing up so early to try to get Jennette to be so brainwashed by you that she's just willing to be like an loyal follower and just hopes of her getting her own show, which I know they do speak about it, and she does speak about it, but that show turned into Sam and Cat. It was not her show. I would have been pissed.
They mainly focus on Cat.
I cannot wait to know what she says about that.
Kind of irrelevant, but on 115 before at the end, it talks about how the creator is stomping over and screaming at people and making grown women cry with insults and degradation.
Oh, it explains...
Guess who that reminds me of? Our creator, owner.
It was because she was explaining, like, because he's saying all these amazing things to Jennette, and he's saying, like,
but she's
you're doing so good. And so she's like, listen, this man, like, he can go through, and he has made people give set designers like a 5-minute standing ovation for building something in one day. He has made people feel like the most special person in the world, but then has immediately turned around and has made people quit, has made grown men and women cry, has just literally deteriorated and shit on people. Really. And it's so quick, and you never know. And she was saying, like, you don't know until you get there of like who or what,
like, who's on his bad
side of the creator you were gonna get that day.
Which is why it was just funny to me, because it reminds me of someone we know.
Yes.
I love it. Not all the way in depth like that, but just the way she worded that was funny.
34. I think that one just is like, she's been on a roll. She's been doing iCarly for a while.
Oh yeah, it talks about she's excited to finally eat some snacks.
Right, like, because now she's been doing this for a while, like, things are kind of chilling. She's become closer friends with Miranda. Her and Miranda are hanging out all the time. They now go to that movie theater that she got the gift card for, that she'd never been to, that was way too expensive. She goes every single week. She sees movie all the time. Like,
with
things
her mom, though, too. Of course. The mom never freaking leaves.
Right. But things are getting a little better. Things are getting...
But she is going through puberty, it talks about, as well. So she's feeling uncomfortable in her body, but it seems like things are getting better overall.
And this is where two, I think
she starts getting famous.
And I think this is kind of where she starts hating the idea of being like a famous actor, because she starts saying every single time she goes out, everybody wants to make a stupid Sam joke. Everybody says the same thing over and over again. Everyone thinks they're clever. She's getting tired of it and she's over it.
Well, it talks too about how like she's over that, but then it also kind of leads into she's now recognizing how deep it goes with her mom and how this is kind of something that it's all for her mom. And so she's starting to build resentment and realize the past of everything that's been going on and how her mom really does treat her. And I feel like that's why also it's important Miranda's there, because Miranda's someone, I mean, she hasn't had any best friend. She's never had a girlfriend to hang out with and get to know and see how their life is. So Miranda's kind of someone that's showing her what freedom looks like a little bit. And I feel like that's also going to help build that resentment towards her mom and how much she didn't want this life.
Yes, because as it's continuing and as Jennette is growing more and more tired of it, more and more irritated with people, her mom is becoming more and more obsessed.
She's like friends with the paparazzi.
She, yes, is becoming friends with the paparazzi.
She knows their names. It's creepy.
She is making Jennette constantly practice her autograph. Like, she wants her to be constantly ready for everything at all times. And this is where she's like, no, like, I'm starting to realize too that kids that do TV, that's all you are. Like, you can't break out of this child TV stardom without either growing up and being bad, or your mistakes being publicized, or something you did as a teenager following you for the rest of your life. You didn't have that ability to grow and learn by yourself without constantly being judged and then being judged about it for the rest of your life. You were never able to grow up. And that's where she's starting to realize. And I think this is too, and she says it really big at the end. She says, but now that I have it, I realize that she's happy and I'm not. Her happiness came at the cost of mine. I feel robbed and exploited. Sometimes I look at her and I just hate her. And then I hate myself for feeling that. I tell myself I'm ungrateful. I'm worthless without her. She's everything to me. Then I swallow the feeling I wish I hadn't had. Tell her I love you so much, Nani Mani, and I move on, pretending that it never happened. And then she just pretends for her job. She pretends for her mom. She's like, I'm starting to think I'm pretending for myself too. Which then I took that as like, she's pretending to like her mom.
She doesn't, like, this is where she's like finally waking up to it all, and she's like definitely confused. I mean, you're coming out of such a big grasp like that the mom had on her, and she finally is able to think for herself. And I'm sure like with how close they are, like everything she wants is her mom. So at the same time, hating her, it's going to make you hate yourself, because like, why do you hate your mom?
And how confusing. You're growing up and your whole life existence was to make this woman happy. And now making her happy is making you hate yourself. And you're like, what am I doing?
You don't know what to do. The next one's nothing crazy. It was just the mom not wanting to go to church anymore, really.
Okay, but this one, no.
Well, no, I guess it does kind of go into deeper, too, about why they went to church and the mom being a little weird about it.
Well, so like we've said in this one and last episode, Jennette loves church. This is her one thing that she's going to wake up for, and she's going to fight for and make sure everyone is ready and make sure everyone's on time for, because she wants her time. And her mom's not getting up. She's tired. And her mom says, oh my God, I worked so hard last night. And she's like, well, wait a minute. Like, I work hard. Like, she does have that second of realization of like, well, she does drive me here and she does drive me this. And she's like always there for like what I need. But then she starts to think and she goes, well, while we're driving, I have to drive there. I have to study for my lines. I have to study for dance. I have to remember routines. I have to stand in the line. I have to act. I have to be under the lights. I have to be in the sun. I have to be doing all of this while she
She's
sits in the
chilling.
fucking waiting room and reads magazines.
Mm-hmm.
Like, who's really working harder here? And you're too tired to get the fuck up and go to church?
My mom's tired because she's mentally exhausting herself.
And she just...
It's just crazy. Like, why? Why are you doing that? And especially like you're saying with how Jennette, like as a kid, if your kid is that interested in going to church for whatever reason, if that's what makes them happy, do it. It's not that hard. And a worst case scenario, go drop them off. Go pick them up after.
In this part too, she brings up the Michaela incident, and she was so ashamed of being inactive as well, because that was a bad thing. Like, she didn't want to give up church, but with her mom being like not going now that everything's good, she writes, I used to think going inactive was a terrible thing, a sin to be ashamed of, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's a sign that things are going right. Maybe people go to church because they want things from God, and they keep going while they're wishing and yearning and longing for those things. But then maybe once they get those things, they realize they don't need church anymore. Who needs God when you've got a clear mammogram and a series of regular roles on Nickelodeon? I let her sleep and start memorizing my lines for Monday. Instantly, just what her mom wants. And now
her mom gets to sleep while she works.
And I mean, who knows? But like, if religion is something to you that you look forward to and you get something out of, like, great. But that shouldn't be destroyed or altered from somebody
100%.
else's, like, actions. Like, Jennette didn't get to make her own opinions about how she feels of church. All she knows is that she liked it and then it was ripped away. And so it must be because, well, I got everything I wanted. And she didn't get to, like, fully fulfill that. I don't know, whatever you get from religion. I don't know.
I feel like a lot of people turn to it when they do need something, but it's also when they're at their like lowest point and they feel like there's nothing else that, I mean, why not try it, I guess? But it's like, I don't know. It's just hard because it gets those people, like, so many people are in the mindset of going to church for all of the wrong reasons. And then they're the toxic people that are spreading all of this hateful religion. And it's just sad because it seems like Jennette actually enjoyed it for the right reasons. And she enjoyed also going to get away from her mom for a little bit. So it's not the right reason, but
she loved the community of it.
She just liked actually going. Yeah. Making friends there. Doing it. And she talks a lot about God too, but I don't think at that age you really comprehend what God is and how detrimental all of that is.
No.
It is so hot in here.
Chapter 36. I know, next time we need to turn that fan back on. Chapter 36. This is where Jennette becomes a woman.
Oh yeah, this was crazy. I'm assuming, actually, that makes sense because she talks about how her stomach's hurting. She was probably just having cramps. And then the mom's like, oh, it's just a bad chicken we ate from this salad that was literally just chicken and lettuce.
Right.
But it was probably that she had cramps. But then and this is when the mom acknowledges the paparazzi. She goes, hi, Glenn. And he's just taking photos of her, and the mom loves it.
Yes. No, this is though where the main point of this part is, yeah, she's getting her period, and it's really fucked up because it's sad that children apparently that are growing up in this like production life in TV and movies, these poor people don't get any fucking privacy. This girl is going through something that's super embarrassing for people at that time. Like, you don't know that everybody else, it's not normalized. You are terrified. You're like, why is this happening to me? What the fuck is wrong with me? You start freaking out. And she is in her dressing room, is on set, of course, when she gets her first period. She calls out to her mom, and her mom busts in, and she's like, oh, like,
her mom's like sad about it. She goes, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, she's like, wraps her in a big hug. The door busts open before I even get the bleeding out, and mom wraps me in a big bear hug when I'm on the toilet. "Oh, sweetie," she says with the gravity of someone consoling a friend who just lost their beloved pet. "Oh, sweetie, I'm so sorry." Which is extremely weird. Like, I don't know, why say sorry?
Exactly. And I mean, reading through this, as stupid as it is, I'm just emotional. But I was crying because I'm like, just as a girl, like, I don't know. I wish you would understand too, like how it feels like as a kid to start your period and all of these older women are going, "Welcome to womanhood," and how cheesy it is to do that and have that experience. But especially to have your mom over here telling you, "I'm so sorry." Like, that is a huge part in your life, and it should be a good memory for you if you can make it one. And the mom's trying to make it sound like it, like, I don't understand how you're going to have a child and then not want them to not like grow. What did you expect having that child? You don't want them to have boobs. You don't want her to have a period. You don't like, it just doesn't make sense to me.
To grow up and just have your own experiences. And
I just, now you're like, it was so baffling that the mom is telling her sorry that she started her period. Because it's not that it's a bad thing. I mean, periods are annoying. But if anything, it's a good thing. It's showing that she's healthy. She has everything working.
Right. Well, and then worse enough too, it's already bad enough that Jennette's going through this. She tells her mom. Well, her mom then goes and tells her school teacher.
Oh, yeah.
Her school teacher comes in and like makes a huge spectacle of this. And that's where she gets the, "Oh, congratulations, you become a woman." She gets a little pad like waved into her face, all like dauntingly like. And then her mom has to go tell an AD that she's running late. And apparently when she came out, she could tell like the way the PAs and the ADs were treating her, that they all heard the news. So now she knows, everyone around her knows. She's feeling ashamed, humiliated. And now she starts asking the question of like, how did she let this happen? How did I become a woman? Like she didn't know, but she was going to fix it.
She wanted to stop.
She was thinking it was because I'm eating my food. I'm drinking my 2% milk or she's drinking regular milk. And she did this to herself. She caused herself to grow up. She fucked up. So this was her punishment. And it's sad that that's how she saw that as, because she was like, nope, immediately I'm going to get back onto my fucking honeycombs, my smart ones, my like shitty ass food. And I'm going to stop growing. I need to get back to anorexia. That's literally what she wrote in here. I need to be a kid again. She equated to being thin, anorexia, to being a kid. And what made her mom happy? What fulfilled that one purpose in her life that she had? Being a kid.
Just crazy. And it's crazy. I mean, how embarrassing. I don't know if Jennette felt like truly embarrassed with all of them saying that. I didn't really like say that, I guess, but I can't imagine. I mean, I started in school and
She didn't say what?
But she didn't like word anything about being like super embarrassed about the teachers knowing, I guess, but I'm like sympathizing with her because I started at school and my mom wasn't there, like she wasn't around, so I didn't know what it was. Like I didn't know, and I had a male teacher, and then he had to go tell my female teachers, and then they're all congratulating me in the bathroom and giving me hugs, and it's just like,
well, I mean,
what's happening?
I think like, well, this is like all the PAs, all the ADs. She only had one teacher, but everybody around her knew, and I'm humiliated and ashamed.
Okay, that's what I mean. I sympathize with it because understandable. At that age, it's embarrassing. I remember being so embarrassed to even be in the bra section.
I wouldn't. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know. It's so weird growing boobs and becoming a female and like a woman. Not becoming a female, I guess, but becoming a woman.
These females.
But just your whole body's changing and it's just weird to you, and it's weird because you know that it's becoming sexualized, and I think that's why I was so weird in that bra section. I hated bra shopping.
Turned from covering up to sexy exposure.
You know.
As we move on to 37.
This one's pretty intense.
This one is where Jennette is so close to her taste of freedom. And she don't even know it. She doesn't even know. She is sad. She doesn't know what she's going to do. iCarly has now been going.
It's been popping off. Did it say how long yet?
Jennette has got to start.
This is during the writing strike.
Right.
Okay, yeah. So this is like well after 3 or 4 years of iCarly.
The writer strike is happening. iCarly is not being written. Well, Jennette needs to do something. So her people are like, girl, you need to get into singing. Mm-hmm. You need to sing.
God. Which I've never heard her music. Have you?
I have not, but I looked it up on Spotify.
You did?
Yep.
What was
I didn't listen to it.
Oh, I want to know.
I just looked it up. I tried to actually, so right at the beginning of chapter 37, it starts with some lyrics to one of her songs. And it's a song just about like her missing her mom. Like she's going to be on tour and she's alone. She's without her mom and she's missing her mom. But she's playing this song for her mom, and Jennette is listening to it, and she knows this shit is overproduced. It's not good. It doesn't sound great.
She didn't like any of it.
And she did not like it.
And she's playing her the song while eating a Nutrisystem frozen lasagna. I just thought that was funny because Nutrisystem was so big back in the day, and it was so bad. Everything from it tasted absolutely terrible.
Oh yeah, they're living in Nashville, Tennessee at this point, so they're all just in like hotels. So like they've been eating frozen dinners.
I was just trying to make this career happen.
But they're listening to this song, and her mom is just overcome with emotion. She's crying. She's
hysterics.
And I was like, bitch, why are you crying? And she's like, it just sounds so beautiful. But I know she's lying. Mom, I think you did well. Joy is not out of full-time tearful joy. It's more of an accelerated, amped up kind of joy. This year, whatever I'm witnessing right now is something more, something deeper. I wish she'd tell me. I wish she'd just admit it. Admit what I already know. This girl has cancer again. Mm-hmm. Jennette's mom.
Yep.
Cancer is back.
And why would you try and hide that from your kids? Especially if you're playing them your cancer video weekly. Trying to remind them of what it's like.
Especially now, too. That is like your whole life is wrapped around your cancer that you had. Mm-hmm. Now you had it back. You're going to miss out on those sympathy points. You don't want people to feel sympathy for you. Like your whole life is ran off of people feeling sorry for you. And now you have this thing where people can actually feel bad for you. And
maybe like the attention that she got from Jennette being a star. I'm a star.
Maybe.
It feeded that hunger that she had of sympathy, attention. She was getting attention. She wasn't bringing cancer up as much. But Jennette saw it in an email, didn't she? She like...
Yeah, she had saw in an email to Marcus that her came up. Because... she asked her mom, and her mom's like, no, like, what do you mean? And she's like, girl, I saw an email between Marcus who was saying that, like, your cancer had come back. And so her mom was just like, I don't want you to miss your tour. She was, like, crying.
That's all she cares about is Jennette going on tour.
And so Jen's like, no, I don't want to leave my mom. Like, she's got cancer. Like, I'm going to be here. And she's like, no, you have to. Like, you have to make me promise. Like, you're going to be a country music star. Like, no matter what. And so Jennette just does what she does. She does a good little daughter. And she's okay, and she does what her mom wants.
Your parent has cancer. And personally, I wouldn't be going on tour.
I wouldn't know. A tour can fucking wait. Especially with music that one you don't care about.
Literally.
It sounds like trash. You even think you hate it. Like, you even think so. You fucking hate it.
Literally.
It's not worth it.
Generation Love on the radio.
I will say, though, I'm glad Jennette went. Because, as we know, in chapter 37... she is out on tour, baby, and she is by herself. This is the first time ever she is without her mom. And she is loving it with a little bit of guilt. Mm-hmm. With every piece of being alone and freedom that Jennette gets and the ability of feeling like, oh my God, I am actually a normal person. I get these normal experiences. She is immediately filled with guilt. Immediately filled with, I have a cancerous mom at home and I'm not there for her. Also,
and just knowing that she's doing things that her mom wouldn't normally let her do. And
yeah.
It's their first time finally like stepping out of that comfort zone. And
it's sad too, because it's not even like she's going out and doing anything bad or she's doing anything crazy. She's
actually eating for once.
Normally eating normal foods, doing normal things, showering by her fucking self.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Like-
yeah, that was the thing, was she was able to finally enjoy what it's like to shower on her own without her mom in there. Which is absolutely insane. Imagine, because by this point, I think she's like 17, because in the next chapter, she's 18. And so she's 17, 18, and...
Well, she has to be 18 if she's off by herself with her mom, right?
Yeah, I guess that's true, huh? But yeah, it's talking about how it's a big deal that she's ordering from the adult menu. And I can't imagine, you're literally an adult. I mean, I felt like I was an adult at freaking 12. I know I wasn't at all. But to not even shower yourself until you're 18, that's absolutely insane. And the mom, like, how is the mom not uncomfortable doing that? Which is what blows my mind.
She even says here, without her around, I don't have to. I miss her deeply and my heart aches over what she's going through, and I certainly feel a lot of guilt about the ease I feel these days, but the ease is undeniable. Without her monitoring and weighing in on my every move, my life feels much easier. The second thing I'm noticing is that I'm eating a lot. I'll eat cinnamon Pop-Tarts in the morning, then I'll eat lunch and dinner and with the band, both meals out, and I'll order from the adult menu, and rarely salads, and rarely substitutions, burgers and fries. Without being monitored by mom, each bite I take feels rebellious. I hear her voice at every meal telling me, dressing on the side, no more bites, that's junky, you don't want a watermelon butt, mind over matter, but her voice can't stop me from eating. I'm horrified by this reality, but simultaneously drawn to what's on my plate with the attraction that can only be described as lust. Like, this girl, this woman, has been deprived of food for so long. She's literally lusting over burgers and fries and
food that she's never allowed to eat. Like, and
I'm assuming she's
imagine.
on tour. Like, these aren't good burgers.
Yeah.
They're
Probably
just
like McDonald's and Burger King and shit.
truck stop food places.
Because it talks about like all of the just like snacks she's eating, and it's all just classic snacks that everyone eats, I feel like, when you're road tripping. But stuff that obviously her mom wouldn't allow her to have. I don't know, but it also like goes into how she starts stuffing herself and she can't fall asleep because she's so full. And that's where, like, kind of earlier when I was talking, I didn't want to bring this up yet because it was later, but like when you're anorexic and you're not eating and then you don't have a healthy relationship with food, so you're jumping back and forth between binge eating and not eating because you feel guilty because you binge ate, and then it's this vicious cycle of never having control of a diet or food, and you never have a healthy relationship with food. So now she's in this opposite cycle, and she's never dealt with binge eating before, and she's talking about how it's really confusing to her because all she wants to do is eat and she can't stop herself. But she's confused how she had so much control to not eat beforehand. And there's a lot of science that actually proves like it's very similar in the brain when you binge eat versus not eat, and how those kind of intertwine and they mentally mess you up very similarly. And so it's just sad. People jump back and forth with those a lot.
This whole part of this end of this chapter is perfect. It says, I go to bed unable to sleep on my stomach because I'm so overstuffed. I weigh myself in the hotel room that have scales in them, and the numbers keep climbing. I'm horrified with every pound gained, but also feel unable to stop. I've been starving myself for years, and now my body is begging for me to stuff myself. This new relationship to food deeply confuses me. For years, I have been in control of my diet, my body, myself. I kept myself rail thin and my body childlike, and I found the perfect combination of power and solstice in that. But now I feel out of control, reckless, hopeless. The old combination of power and solace is replaced by a new combination of shame and chaos. I do not understand what is happening to me. I am terrified of what will happen when mom sees me. It always goes back to her mom. Always goes back to what her mom will think.
Like, she's finally eating, which, not healthily, she's now on the opposite spectrum, but she's finally eating and all she can think of is guilt and how guilty she feels to be eating. And again, like, just how young she was when all of that was happening with her mom. I can only imagine that she still struggles with things like this. That's stuff that's going to stay with you forever.
And you know, it's one thing that's it's sad, but the thing is, normally these conditions, these disorders, typically they get brought on by other school kids comparing themselves to kids online, usually within their peers. There are times where it happens a lot, obviously every way, but I feel like it's just extremely sad knowing that it's coming, the call's coming from within the house. There was no one shielding Jennette from this. There was no one on her side trying to encourage her to love herself or be okay with who she was. There was no escaping that. And that's the one thing that's not really talked about, but you can only imagine is like during all of these auditions, during being on these roles, like kids don't like kids. A lot of people kids are mean. And so on top of her probably just here and there getting picked on, hearing snark comments, the little stuff that kids do, then coming back and being home, and then constantly being berated by your mother. Like, where's her safe space?
Like the mom's
Church.
Not sitting here like directly calling her like fat or ugly or any of that kind of stuff. It's more of
those backhanded compliments,
manipulating tactics, and backhanded compliments that are like psyching her out into believing like her mom doesn't actually, she doesn't feel that way.
Well,
and
a good example, her mom was the biggest fucking drama queen any single time Jennette did not get a role. The one time Jennette's mom was happy, gleeful, and didn't have a problem with her not getting a role was when the director told her that she was too pretty for that role. The one time that Jennette's mom had no ish
and
not booking a role.
It's just sad because as a girl, especially like a young girl, you're starting to learn like societal standards and how hard it is to, like, if you just want to be attractive, like it's hard because you want to be that pretty girl, and if your mom's putting that pressure on you as well and not teaching you like that's not what it's about, that's not what childhood and life is about. You shouldn't be 11 years old worrying about your weight, but it just makes it so much harder when, like you said, it's coming from inside the home and not even like at school or something. And
there is
not
no
that
escape.
It's even better like coming from school, but it's different coming from your mom, someone that's supposed to be teaching you like you deserve love and you're beautiful, whatever, no matter what.
Right, because I feel like we've been through some stuff when it's not coming from within your circle. There's still that bit of you where it's like, I'm getting picked on or something's causing me to feel this way, but like, you can pinpoint, or I know it's all talk, but like it still gets to me is all that. When it's your like parents, when it's your mom, that's redefining and that's shaping your world. That's putting rules and putting stipulations and putting guidelines in for the rest of her life that are going to be impossible to break because with her parents, that's scripture right there. Like that's just how the world is. This is how mom does it. This is normal. This is the world.
And I can only imagine like how the mom grew up. She grew up in that age where it's all diet culture. Everything is about diets and sugar-free. And it's always been a thing now, I guess. But I feel like my mom was very much a victim of that. And a lot of women around that age dealt with insane diet culture growing up. And their young 20s, 30s, whatever, when they were having these kids and bringing their opinions on them as well.
It's just sad. Last one, 39. Guys, we did it.
And it's so hot in here. I can't wait.
Chapter 39.
This one was weird.
This is where Jennette gets her very first kiss. Her real kiss. Someone she wants to kiss. But this one was interesting. I feel like actually but a lot of people can relate. It goes to show there's this guy, Lucas. That was weird. I want to hit on that.
Yes.
But first I want to like
introduce him. It's just all weird to me.
In natural, I feel like this happens a lot, is you like someone and you're just like, I like them, but there's so much other stuff on top of it that you don't like about them, but you just push it to the side and you don't think about it because that small little piece that you like. That is with this one guy. Jennette has her first kiss with a guy named Lucas. And she goes to say, oh, I like him. Like, he was cool to hang out with. Like, we get along.
Like
he's
she has a little
nice.
crush.
Yeah.
Nothing crazy.
He gives her a bunch of compliments all the time. But as we start reading, we realize, well, she don't fucking like nothing about this dude.
Mm-mm.
They have nothing to talk about. She don't ever want to have conversation with him by himself. He only talks about music that she don't like. He only talks about stuff that she don't like. There was even a part where she explains he was a guitarist and he would like fly in and out for some big shows, or if they were in Nashville. But there was the times where he would fly out to the shows, they were always so busy, so they never really got alone time. But anytime that there was a chance that they could get alone time, and poor little Lucas wanted some alone time, Jennette was always finding a reason to not spend time with him. She didn't want to spend time with him, but she didn't know why she liked him either. She was confused. But also,
she has the ick.
She got the ick from
did.
this man.
She
didn't
did.
like his long hair. He had long hair.
There's a lot that icked her out about him.
And also, what this woman wrote, and it was weird. This man was 27, and she was 18.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and it's full love bomby too, with how he talks about her and whatever. It's just the typical grooming bullshit. And I mean, she's 18. She doesn't know any different, but at least she knows that she's not interested in him.
Right. He's always like it says, it was either they were talking about music or he was showering me with generic compliments, like the sun rises and sets in your eyes, or you're my favorite person I've ever met.
Like if she wasn't like smart enough to pick up on that, I'm sure she could have went down a very slippery slope with this type of situation.
But she even says she has the first kiss and she likes it.
But then she knows it needs to end too.
But yeah, she's like, and she was like, I'm gonna pull out my phone and text it. Like, she liked it, but it wasn't enough. And that's when I think, yeah, she was like realizing the icks.
Mm-hmm. And I put craves love, because I feel like she didn't have a boyfriend. She's never had a boyfriend. She's never had that school experience of flirting with all these random boys and whatever it was. She didn't have an actual childhood. So I can only imagine you're finally 18 and you're excited for this moment in your life, but honestly, I don't really know where I was going with that. Oh, craves love. But I don't know. I just feel like she was excited to have someone that liked her. It wasn't even that she was into him. It was just the idea of what could it be that she was interested in. I mean, doesn't mean, you can kiss people like that, I guess. But, I mean, she liked it. She talks about how she ended up liking it, and she's confused about it because it seems like it's the first time she got turned on.
So, so she...
And she doesn't know why it feels that way.
She kisses him. She gets a little warm feeling. She's all... But she doesn't know. Because she's been so sheltered. She doesn't have normal interactions with people. She's never had a boyfriend. She's never had a crush. She doesn't know what's happening, and she's an adult, and she's by herself, and she doesn't have any friends to talk to. She's just like,
yeah. And I mean, your body reacts naturally to that kind of stuff, even if you're not fully interested in that person. So I don't know. I mean, it's just funny how she words it in here to me, but she just talks about it pulsating and it feels warm, and it's just funny to me because I call them puss flies instead of butterflies, because you get them in your puss.
I got puss flies in my eye. I got pussy willow in my eye.
Pussy willow.
All right, guys. Well,
I've been dying of heat.
That was chapters
20 through 40.
Yes,
20 through
39. I actually really liked it, and I really am glad
the book
that
is so good.
I just like that we finally got to iCarly. I'm so glad to know. I'm so glad to know that there was no drama. There was no nothing like that.
Hostility between her and Miranda and
Or Nick.
all of that.
Or
yeah.
Nathan.
Yeah.
None of them. It just seemed like they were good homies.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't.
It was a good wake up call for her, and I feel like it was definitely a very important time for her to have happen.
It was cool because there was even a small little snippet, I guess, where I don't know, was it? I don't remember where it was. Maybe it was a little further. I always like to sneak peek a chapter or two after I get to 40. But there's a part where the creator will talk about compare the Victorious kids and the iCarly kids. And he was saying like, oh, the Victorious kids drinks and everything. Like you iCarly kids are so uptight.
Like he wanted them to party.
Yeah. The creator wanted to like.
And I only know this because I've like heard of it online. I haven't read the book, like the parts yet. But yeah, I remember hearing, and like there's videos of the cast at Victorious like all drunk and hanging out with the creator. And it's just gross. So they're like 16 to 19 in those.
That one just made me feel good. It was like, okay, cool. I'm glad that at least like there was no ish, because at least now I assume like it sounds like iCarly's been on for a couple years. It's probably getting close to the end. She's doing this music shit. She's getting older. So I'm assuming the drama's good on the iCarly. Mm-hmm. I love that show and I can continue loving that show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I will say it goes pretty quick. It's going through her lifespan pretty quickly. So I can only imagine what the rest of the book has to offer.
Well, and that's what's cool. So we should be getting...
Because you get the after death, huh?
Yeah, we should be getting close to the after. Assuming. Let's see here. Let me take a little gander. There we go. Ooh.
So we'll get to it in this part.
Yeah, so that's actually going to be fun. In this part, we'll go from before to after her mom's death. So make sure you guys come back next week so we can deep dive again into chapters 40 to 59. I had so much fun. I'm sorry this one was shit. Didn't even drink it.
Oh, the wine.
Yeah, the wine was shit.
I know, I took one sip, but I genuinely feel like I got drunk off the one sip.
I hate to be a wakeful person, but like I ain't drinking this.
It's rough.
It was bad.
I want to watch our reaction of when we tried that shit.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in.
Mucho gracioso.
That is it for our show. Make sure you guys come back next week and we will see you all later. Bye.